Okay, so thank you, and thank you for the university to give us the opportunity to explain to the people that is left in the room, okay, what we are doing. In this case, the company in the ICT development. Okay, I will very quickly. Okay, let's move here. I wanted to just, if there is no people that are not IT related, to just give in one slide or two what's Sun Microsystem as a company, what we are doing. Oops. Okay, better? Yes. Okay, to explain what's Sun Microsystem as an IT company, what we are doing, I'm going to address that. Then quickly I will go to the different initiatives that we have in order to bring ICT skill development, okay, around the different countries. And then I added during yesterday and today a few slides, since it's the last speech in these 2 days, grouping these, we heard many things about open, freedom, etc. So I'm going to group, at least in my understanding, the different type of open, okay, and give at least my point of view, okay, as to share it with you, and then to finish a kind of call for action. Okay, so I always think that in any presentation we need to accomplish at least three things. First is to raise the interest. Sometimes it's difficult, so I have no jokes about South Africans or things like this, so it's difficult maybe to raise initially the interest. The second objective is always to inform, and the most difficult one at the end is really to engage. Okay, so I'm not just here speaking for speaking. I would like to speak and then to be able to afterwards get some homework, okay, and be able to work more into this topic, which is ICT skill capacity building. Okay, Sun Microsystems is an IT company born in the 82. Okay, so we produce from very small thin clients to maybe the fastest and biggest supercomputers in the world. We also do storage, from storage that can be in servers up to the largest storage libraries, etc. Okay, so that's part of what we do. And as well, we have a third unit which is mainly doing software. Okay, and I will touch some of them. You can see here already that I'm using several words open. Okay, so we are a company that it's been working with open. Just these 4 ideas of the company: the vision, mission, cause, and strategy. It's very good that during these 2 days I've heard many times the word participation or the word community development, because we launched also the idea that the information age, according to ourselves, has already finished. So we are today in a new era, what we call the participation age, okay, where everyone and everything should be participating on the network, on the internet, okay. As a mission, as a company, we create technologies, okay, to facilitate this participation on the network. But we are as well very committed, okay, to eliminate the digital divide while making a better planet off. Okay, so that's something that for us, it's part even of our DNA. Okay, and the way to do all that, it's to sharing. Okay, and that's why sharing, building communities, helping communities to develop things, to bring information. As a company, we've always been an innovative company, and a company always very linked to the standards and to the openness. Okay, when we were born in 1982, I think we were one of the first companies that our computers were coming with TCP/IP, and we just heard in the video of Vincent Cerf. Okay, TCP/IP in 1982, IBM was not betting for it. Digital Equipment Corporation was not betting for it. Microsoft not even knew what was the network. But we bet it. And all our equipments, since day one to today, all of them have always been following all the standards or all the things which are open. Okay? And then we've contributed to the community. Maybe one of the first contributions was with NFS, the Network File System. We contributed with many others, like Open Office, Open Solaris today, Grid Engine, development tools, etc., etc. I will touch some of them. But we've been a company, if I look today at the company, it's the biggest organization in the world, or the organization that has contributed the more to the open source, let's say, community, in the number of lines of code donated or shared with them. But let's move to the skill capacity building, okay? And I'm going to address that from our point of view, so what we are doing in SAN for the skill capacity building. Okay. We have to address first what are the barriers today, okay, in accessing the information or in learning, okay. There is maybe one of the first barriers we have today is the access, okay. So first to access to the network, to access to even a school sometimes, to access to a teacher, okay, but as well to access to the good content, okay. And that topic has been addressed already yesterday with Wikipedia and during this morning with Curriki, okay. But as well, we have many issues from the IT point of view about technology obsolescence. There's many governments around the world who are investing lots of money in putting IT into the classrooms, but really they are not improving the learning, teaching experience, okay? Because technology gets obsolete very soon, because teachers maybe have not been well trained to how to use those technologies. So we have many, many issues all around it. Okay. As a company, and I think it's not only our point of view, I think it's everyone's point of view today, it's that education today is the foundation for success. It's the foundation for success for a country, the foundation for success for a company, is the foundation for success for a region, for everyone. Because education really is getting or bringing the good researchers, it's getting the good professionals, the business leaders, who are then going to be the leaders of governments, of companies, bringing new patents or new innovations into the country, and all that is going to bring development and wealthness. Okay, so that's why, as a company also, we've always been working very, very closely with the education community since day one. Okay, SAN doesn't come from the nice SAN that you have here today. It comes from Stanford University Network. We are a company that was born from one university. And since then, we continue working very, very closely with many of the universities and research centers around the world. There's 4, I would say, values or pillars of strength for us. One, it's the one I'm going to touch, the skill capacity building. The second one, it's really to provide what we know to do. It's bringing those technologies to the universities and research centers. The second one, or the third one, it will be to collaborate. And I think we have a good example of collaboration here with Professor Derek Kitts, okay, and with our network project. Okay, so we received information of this project and we try to collaborate and help to expand this project and to get it successful. And the fourth pillar is building ecosystems, okay, with communities of researchers, of universities, etc. We do have several number of programs in order to help universities, okay, in this ICT skill capacity building, and not only universities, sometimes schools, vocational training, etc. I'm going to go mainly to the collaboration ones, okay, because some of them here don't, like for example, we do some grants to universities from time to time based on equipment. In the US, we are also offering to some of the universities grants in accessing one of the grid computers that we have, grid research grants, but today it's only restricted to the US, so we cannot give access outside the US. It's a pity, but they think that giving access to such a big computer people may use it for nuclear research or things like this, so we cannot do it outside the US today. So what we try to do is build collaboration with universities through several ways, okay? Through Campus Ambassador is a new program that we are trying to put in some of the key IT universities around the world. It's one person that is going to be the link between the university and Sun Microsystems. Opening centers of excellence, okay, and I will talk a little bit later. So there are centers in normally universities where we are cooperating or collaborating in either in a very technological thing, like it can be supercomputing, or it can be around e-learning, or it can be around brain research. So we bring whatever our knowledge and technologies, and the university brings their knowledge, the researchers, okay, and we have a common purpose, and it's a program normally that we set up goals and objectives for more or less it's like 3, 4, 5 years, okay. We also collaborate with many of the universities, or some universities, with some of what they call external research, okay. With that, whenever in one university they are doing some type of research that is of interest for our labs or for interest for one of our engineering centers, we try to collaborate. Don't reinvent the wheel twice, okay. So we try to collaborate, and then normally it's with some economical or financing this research that is done at the university. It's not very expanded outside the US, okay, because almost all of our labs are in the US and research centers and engineering centers, so we don't do it too much outside. But we are moving, okay, since more people are collaborating, so we are starting also doing these kinds of things in countries like in Eastern Europe, a lot of them, Israel, and I would like to be able to do such kind of collaborations as well in Africa, and in South Africa in specific. Then we have maybe the most important program is this academic developer program. As an IT company, we produce lots of content, educational content, based on technologies like Java or XML, which, by the way, the researcher, the director of the research of XML, creating XML, is as an employee. Okay, so we have lots of information, materials, educational materials that we are offering for free for academic institutions like universities. Okay, it's a program that is available. I think that also here the UWC, it's part of it. And what I'm really is asking people is to use it and to use it more, because you will have the best content in order to be taught in Java technologies, Solaris, operating systems, security, elliptic curve, etc. Elliptic curve, what's that? Cryptography. So one of those topics. So you can, all this information, it's over there. Okay, and then we also work, but that's maybe one of the most important things, is we provide many of those of the software materials, okay, of the software for free. Okay, like StarOffice, that was donated to the open source community, but we also offer it for free for the universities, and all of our stack of software is offered for free for universities if they are going to use it for teaching, research, or development. So we try to eliminate those barriers in order to access the technology. Okay. So that will be as an example of how can people go. We try to organize as well technology days in the universities, okay? So bringing the latest innovations into the universities with these campus ambassadors that I would like to implement also here next year. With this Sun Academic Initiative, it is offering all these materials to the universities. We from time to time organize some developer contests, and I take this idea from Professor Derek Kitts that he raised this morning about organizing something specifically for Africa. So I think that's something I'm going to bring back in my return flight, and I will share that with, as you know, Kim Jones and John Gage, and I will try to do something around that, okay? Specifically for this part of the world. Okay, we try to collaborate to create these centers of excellence, showcases, and all that then is fooling as well people that then are going to work into not only the universities, but also into the industry. And I will come with some examples afterwards. Which are those materials, okay? So right now I think we are offering more than 130 courses, okay, that you have access to all of them. All the students in this university have access, and in any other university that just signs this agreement with us, from Java to XML to many others. Okay, we also then support the certification if people wants to be certified. So we also are co-sponsoring the certification, okay, because people want to have a degree in a university, but many times I will say the companies are asking, okay, you need to be 23 years old, with graduated, speaking 5 languages, and certified in at least 5 types of technology. Okay, we help, okay, by giving certifications, even for an external agency, but with sharing the cost of the certifications. Okay, I put 2 examples. So Derek Kitts also was talking about some of the projects he's working in Afghanistan and in some other places of the world. Okay, I'm putting 2 others from a different continent in Latin America of the type of work we've been doing for ICT skill capacity building. Okay, in Mexico we've been working with the Ministry of Labor. Okay, because one of the issues of many countries like Mexico is that even people that are attending the university, when they finish the university, they don't find qualified or they don't find jobs. Okay, and sometimes they are not qualified enough, I would say, in real technologies that are used by the industry. Okay, so it's what we created and we launched is a kind of an academy with the help of the Ministry of Labor, where we were taking, in this case, I think it was last year, around like 2,000 students that have just finished the university, and we trained them in IT skills, okay? From programming, web programming, and we did that not alone, okay? And that's maybe one of the lessons to learn. We did that with some other industries, with Oracle and with some other of the software industries. And we also gave the compromise that we were going, as the companies working on that project, we were going to recruit part of those students. Okay, so that's been an idea. A similar thing, we did it in Argentina. Okay, in this way, maybe the driving force was the Ministry of Finance, so they wanted to attract IT companies. And if you want to attract IT companies, what you need to have is very good qualified IT people in the young IT people. Okay, so the best way is to train them and to train them with the latest technologies. Because at the end, the skills create jobs, and qualified jobs can bring development, both socio-economical. Okay? Let's come to this idea of open, open, open. Okay? Because we heard that word many times today. I more or less, from my point of view, summarize it in 4 types of openness. Okay? One thing, it will be open source, and we've had many examples of open source here. Open standards will be another term, open formats, and open content. Okay? Each one of them has its particularities, and each one of them are bringing some benefits for the community and are bringing some benefits for the ICT development. Okay? Open source for us brings opportunities, and opportunities mainly for developers. Here are some examples of initiatives of open source, okay, like the QL NextGen software developed here. But then as well some other initiatives like NetBeans. It's a complete set of developing tools based on Java. OpenOffice, even OpenSpark. OpenSpark, it's maybe the first open-sourced hardware defined. Okay, so the latest technology in processors, in a processor architecture, which is the T1 processor developed by Sun Microsystems and identified as the most advanced innovation in the processor architecture by the rector of Stanford University. And he normally is not very friend of Sun Microsystems since he launched his own computer company and his own computer processor. Okay? But he's in his last book, because he's rewriting it or reshaping it several after a few years. So in the last one that came into the market in September, he was qualifying this processor as the most advanced innovation in the computer architecture in the last 10 or 20 years. And this architecture, it's open sourced. This university, any other university, anyone who wants to get the coding, how this processor is, they can download it, they can look at all the code, and even if you have the capability, you can even create or build that microprocessor. So the most advanced microprocessor today in the market. It's even open sourced. Okay? Then we collaborate, so there's things that we do, the others that we collaborate, okay, like with BSD we've been collaborating and with some other initiatives. One of them in the education arena is JClick, and I pointed because it's in my city. That's an author tool for teachers to create content for the K-12 market. And I added this Formula One car here because it's even this Formula One. I had a previous photo here. It was the Mars rover. Okay, you know the Mars rover that NASA sent it to Mars. Okay, the Mars rover is programmed using Java and is programmed using open source software. Okay, that anyone from you can download, even the simulator, and can download images from Mars, and you can play from your Linux PC or Windows PC or Mac. Okay, whatever you want, even in Solaris as well. But I added here finally this Formula One Renault, because this Renault is also using some free software technology to help them to win, and that's part of the reason why they won last year, okay, with Fernando Alonso. And it's a free software, open source software that was developed initially coming from Sun. Some maybe of you will know it's Genie technology. And we developed that then using some funds from the European Union. Okay, we further develop this technology to be able to work on a, on a wide area network. Okay, and that's part of the technology this car is today using for all the telemetry. Okay, which gives them a competitive advantage against some other cars. Okay, because they can control, I would say, more closely every detail that is happening in this car. Another thing is the standards. And normally open source, almost all the open source is based or are based on open standards. Okay, open standards, what we provide is choice. Okay, because if I build a system based on open standards, then I can choose different modules from different, I would say, open source and from different vendors and get the whole thing working. Okay, and there are several initiatives. We also launch from Sun Microsystems many of them, like the NFS, like Liberty Alliance, and in the educational arena there's IMS and some others. Okay, what open standards define really, it's like this Lego. Okay, so you can even buy sometimes pieces of Lego from different companies, because at the end everything is specified, and you can put blocks even from different manufacturers, and it will work. That's what open standards help us to do it. Something different, then it will be the open format, which allow us to access and to have access to different information on a, I would say, more freely way. Examples of open formats are the XML format, okay, the SCORM for educational content, and one very important, which is the open document format, okay, which defines how a text, a spreadsheet, a presentation, a mathematical formula can be written in XML and then be used by different types of softwares, from StarOffice, OpenOffice. IBM is as well using this format. Google is using this format, and some others. Okay, but it's very important, and the open format, I would say, for me, it's even much more important than an open source, because at the end, a program only it's processing information, but the key is the information. And today, many of you, I'm sure, and many governments and many companies have tons of information stored in formats that they don't know if they are going to be able to read it in 10 years from now. Okay? Because you are linked to Microsoft and to other vendors into their software, because it's the only way to read that information is using their software. So that's why open formats, I would say it's very, very important. Because the importance is not, and it's very important, okay, like your web server, it should be a good one, okay, but it's going to change. At the end, the importance is the information you have behind, okay? So I really encourage all of you to start using open formats, if you are not using open formats. And you encourage as well, for those of you that can, is to force your country in adopting open formats, like the European Union has done, like many of the states in the United States have been doing, and as many more countries are doing. Okay? For those that don't know open formats, I went to Google, to Wikipedia in this case, in order to find what's the definition for this open document format. And the fourth open thing is open content, which I believe open content, open materials, okay, will drive development. Okay. And there are, we've been debating at lunchtime about the MIT Open Courseware. There are some other initiatives around the world, like Curriki, that was explained this morning for K-12 market. There's all those materials created under the Creative Commons licensing model. Okay, there's Wikipedia will be an example. Okay, so, and I believe that that's really, it's putting the first layers in order to build capacity, to build, to have better materials for the students. That's why we believe it's open, very, very important. Okay, the call to action will be it's to participate. This word that has been repeated several times here. Okay, so we like to be even more engaged with this, in this case with this university and with some of the projects with this university. I said that one of the programs we have is this, we call it Campus Ambassador. So I would like next year, and I will talk with Professor Derek Kitts in order to, if we can implement that here, to collaborate. So we are already collaborating around some of the local projects, but we would like to even go further and be able to collaborate with other universities and around other projects at the extent that we are able to do it, okay? And continue as a company innovating, okay? So our company, since it was born in 1982, so we think it was just a couple of weeks ago that we were 25 years of, we reached our 25 year. It's a company based on the innovation. I really want to continue innovating, okay? And I would like, here I have an example of a HPC, a supercomputing center, not very powerful, but well in Oregon. So I would like to be able to see something like this that we can really showcase based in South Africa. Okay, and well, I try to be quick, and if you have questions, I will be try to respond if possible. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Juan Ramon. We've got time for one or two quick questions.
Thank you, Juan. I saw the slides that are 2 or 3 back where you're talking about open standards and particularly the open document format. And I just wanted to perhaps make you aware that the South African Bureau of Standards, Microsoft actually called for the formation of a working group which met for the first time on Tuesday this week to talk about the adopting of an open document format as a South African national standard. Clearly they're looking to try and promote their ISO 29500, whatever it's called, the Microsoft Words format. But there's representatives there from Microsoft. As Fatisa, we were a bit cheeky, we invited ourselves. But Sun was conspicuous by their absence. Perhaps we should speak to Sun South Africa and make sure that they join the South African standards making process.
Well, maybe yes, we are not very active here in this field. So with the open document format, it's been a very long fight, as you may know, mainly in Europe and as well in the US, but in Europe, I think that almost all the strength has been focalized initially in Europe, because we also had the good thing in Europe. We got all the support from the European Union, and I was participating in the debate, and it was very rewarding sometimes to see emails coming from the European Union asking Sun and some of the other 10 companies that joined the foundation to be more aggressive in defending the open document format. Okay, so I don't know why we are not so active here in South Africa. So I should try to learn, and I should try to engage the person that we have for Europe, Middle East, and Africa around those topics to contact you. Okay, so her name is Piper Cool. She's based in Brussels. Okay, because that's where all the bureaucracy and the good thing. Well, you don't use that, but in Spain, burro and burro. One thing is bureaucracy, and burro. When I put 2 R's, it's donkey. Okay, and really the European Union sometimes it's really a burro, a donkeycracy. Okay, so that's why we have people working in pushing these ideas more focalized in Europe, because then that can get disseminated in all the EU countries. Okay, but maybe yes, we should be doing more, maybe more here, and I will put in contact you with Piper Cool.